Hey, good evening, all of those of you who are dreading the upcoming holiday of Thanksgiving. This talk is especially for you. So thank you for tuning in. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, wanting to get real with you and help you through what some of you are dreading. And I realize, because I remember the unexpected, the confusion, the hurt, all those emotions that are just swirling around in your head. I get it. And so for tonight, as every night, I want to make sure that you know that you can ask questions, make comments, text me, or even make a phone call if you have a situation that you'd like to discuss. So also, we need to announce November 30th through January 4th, the confidential private online support group, which is going to be every Tuesday night, 6 weeks from November 30th until January 4th. It's called Lonely and Afraid. Why is it called that? It's not a topic or a title that's going to draw people to come. However, I want it to be real and I want it to be for you. And so we are going to meet 7 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6 weeks, starting November 30th. You do have to fill out a registration form, a confidentiality statement before I send you the Zoom link. I want this a safe environment. If you want to change your name, you can even keep your screen blank for a little while if you'd like, until you scope it out and feel really comfortable with us. And believe me, my primary focus is that it is a safe space for you to process through all that you are going through. So how many, a show of hands, are dreading the upcoming holiday? I see a few of you. I know you're out there. I know you're out there, especially if this is your first Thanksgiving holiday after divorce. I understand the trepidation that you're feeling. And I want to help you through that a little bit tonight in our time together. So we have these fears, and we have to really dig down and see what are these fears? What do they mean? What are we afraid of? Many times we are comparing ourselves to others, and we think we're going to go to this family event or to this work party or wherever, and we're going to fear being humiliated, being asked questions we don't know how to answer. And so we have this fear of going into the party atmosphere or the family gatherings. And that's understandable, but I don't want that to let it stop you. I want you to go. I want you to go. I want you to participate. The host, whoever is running this party or hosting this party, just let them know it's just a rough period. You may need to leave early, And please understand, but go if you're invited. And I know that someone from my support group that just finished, he is hosting a Thanksgiving dinner with a lot of distant relatives, and he's invited the support group, and he's invited neighbors and a lot of people. And that's how he chose to deal with this. And he chose people who will come together, who are safe people, and who are able to hold really great intelligent conversation. So he's brave enough to host it himself. If you are brave enough, good for you. But if that's the case, whether you're going somewhere or you're hosting, I want you to lower your expectations for one. That's going to help you a lot. Don't expect a lot from people. Expect people not to know what to do, for them to be a little bit awkward, and that's okay. That's okay. This is a new journey. You've never been through this before. So allow people to be how they're going to be. If they ask you an awkward question, just change the subject, or just say, I'd really rather talk about sports or something else tonight. It's a nice holiday escape for me. That's being honest, and it's also giving you the out. So I want you to have that out. I want you to have the empowerment to change the discussion, to not even answer questions if you get any questions. Chances are you won't, but there's always one in a group, right? That's going to ask a strange question. So just look them in the eye, take a breath, and say, how about those Detroit Lions? They've lost 8 games out of 9. So, or whatever your hometown team might be. So as you go in that fear, we feel like we may be humiliated or embarrassed or scrutinized or judged. You can't control what other people are going to think, what they're going to say, what they're going to do. All you can control is yourself. So go control yourself. Go be a part. Be a part. You might enjoy it even more than you think. And one fear you might have, or one thing that we can sort of naturally do at this point, is we can compare ourselves to others. Well, I'm going to go and there's going to be Mary Jo and her husband Bob, or there's going to be a cousin with his new girlfriend. Don't compare yourself to other people. This is your journey, your life. Everybody's life has bumps in the road. Boy, have I learned that. In holding support groups and mediation and being able to see deep and intimately into people's lives, we are all having struggles in one form or another. So go easy on yourself, go easy on them, but go. So what are we going to do if we're alone? If there isn't an invitation and the children are with your former spouse and you find yourself for the first time alone on Thanksgiving, I don't want you to panic. What I want you to do is plan something. Plan a movie, plan your favorite dessert, plan a structured night. One thing that you can do is you can start thinking about your future. If you have not intentionally started making a plan, now is the time to start that if you're going to be alone. Just so happens that this book is available, and you can probably, if you order it tonight, get it before Thanksgiving. It is the least expensive at christianbooks.com. It's also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. This book takes you through 8 weeks of how to build your future. So you could start on this book. In fact, if you were really ambitious, you could go through several chapters of this book. And you could start having an intentional plan on your life. So if you are alone, I don't want you wallowing. I want you to think, how can I make this a constructive day? How can I celebrate it? Celebrate it with gratitude, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But how can I make this constructive so that I'm not reacting or a reflex to my life, but I am taking charge and empowering? Stephanie, hey, good to see you. I spent many Christmases alone, so I planned my Christmas shopping at that time. Perfect. It's constructive. It's good use of the time. It makes you feel constructive, and it gives you something to look forward to, some hope. Excellent, excellent time to do that if you are alone. But if you go through this book, that's one way in which you can start. Or if you don't have the book and are not going to order it, I will be heartsick. But what you can do, get out a paper and pencil and say, what do you want your future to look like? It's not very far away that this year is going to come to a conclusion. We were relieved when 2020 was finished. We thought it would be much better. 2021 was better in some ways, but we're still dealing with all of the COVID, all the issues, all the heaviness of the things that we've been dealing with. So make it intentional, make a plan. Another thing you might do is pick up this book, which is a journal. This is one of the final book in the series, the Suddenly Single series. It has diary pages or journaling pages in here for every event that you're going to go through the first year after your divorce. Now, I find it interesting that the word journal is actually French, and it comes from the word journey or to travel. So it's actually you're traveling through life. And what I love about this book is that it allows you to express, and this is so helpful for us, not only to begin planning our future, but to also settle and continue processing and put to rest all of our past. So Thanksgiving is in here. It's in the month of November. And it talks about fears. It has several pages in November, not 30, not for every day of the month, but it's specifically focused on the month of November. One of the things that I have in here is for November, you can't steer a parked car. If you're unsure of what steps to take to begin the rest of your life, reach out to someone you trust. Seek counselors. I love that advice. In other words, get moving in some way, whether it's small baby steps, doesn't matter, you're still moving. One of the scriptures that are attached to this are, get all the advice and instruction you can so you will be wise the rest of your life. That's what the scriptures tell us. The book of Proverbs, of course, is a book of wisdom. Get the instruction that you need. Don't sit and stew and wallow and think, I don't know what to do. If you don't, get some tools, or get some help. Actions, and then there's a place in here to journal. It says, actions I'm taking toward my new life. How are you moving forward? That's one of the pages in November. Another page in November is on Thanksgiving. Gratitude expands our world. That is so true. When we are grateful, we look around and we see things that we've been living with and we've had for so long, but we really haven't been seeing for a very long time. So gratitude expands our world. It makes our world bigger. It truly, truly does. Where can we get those books? Thank you for asking that. Where can we get those books? You can get them on really should be at any bookstore. If you go in and Google at your Barnes & Noble bookstore or at Amazon or christianbooks.com is the least expensive for the books. So thank you for asking that question. They're available. They're not hard to find. You can go to my website and that will direct you to the vendors who sell it as well, which are those three mentioned. So thank you for asking that. So gratitude expands our world. It makes us more content with what we have. Again, we're looking around at the things that we have, Not what we've lost, not what we don't have, but what we have. And that may be things as simple as our health, a chair to sit in, a roof over our head, food on the table. Maybe it's not a big fancy turkey dinner. Maybe it's a chicken leg. Whatever it is, gratitude makes our world bigger. It expands it. Um, it makes us more content with what we have. If we understand the source of our blessings, we can find the eternal purpose of them. Another verse here. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And you may think, man, that's not encouraging, Kathy, that this pit that I'm in is God's will. God doesn't want you to hurt. But what he does want is for you to draw closer to him, to see that he's not done with your life, that this transition can actually be something that creates a greater you than you have ever dreamed of or been. So God's will is always to draw you to himself, to have a better life, to be able to have a perspective about life that's richer and more content than we have ever had. And here on this page, it says, I'm most grateful for, and then gives you space to write in there. And then it says, there's an area to write, a new tradition I'd like to start. So as you're going through this new painful, dreading Thanksgiving is also a time in all this chaos to start putting it back into place in ways that you want it to go into place. Maybe you want to start a new tradition for Thanksgiving. I don't know what that would look like. What's important to you? What would make you feel like you're celebrating life and gratitude? Maybe it's in serving others. Maybe a new tradition is going to the food pantry and serving mashed potatoes or food. Maybe that could be a new tradition. Thanksgiving has been around for a very long time, and it comes with all kinds of traditions. Back when we were children, up until today. But nowhere does it say that we cannot create a new, more meaningful Thanksgiving than we have ever had before. That is your possibility. I want you to feel not dread going into Thanksgiving, but empowerment. Like, as much as I love the traditions, I'm not a slave to those traditions. What do I really want for Thanksgiving? What would make it meaningful for me and for my children, if you have your children? Think about it in a whole new way. Maybe our traditions have kept us stuck. And now, as we're being pried loose from the traditions of the past, we can start creating new ones. I hope that's been of help. I hope you'll join us on the November 4th, November 30th through January 4th. Afraid and lonely during the holidays. I know you are, but you won't stay that way. So join us. Empower yourself. Have a good Thanksgiving. Be grateful for the blessings that you have. And draw near to the God who longs to draw near to you. This is Kathy Beatty, Divorce Support Anonymous, guiding you every step of the way through the trauma of divorce.